What up everyone, it's your man XManny87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends Wolverine 50th Anniversary 2-pack of Logan vs. Sabretooth action figure review. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up, like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's go! Okay. I don't want you guys to think I'm going to start this review in a negative way. I'm not. Just hear me out. So, some people think of this as a hostage pack where it feels like it's a forced purchase to buy this Logan in order to get Sabretooth. I get that. Sabretooth should have been on a single card of some sort. Even though I collect all the Wolverine figures because that's my favorite X-Man. And by the way, if you haven't checked out my tribute for the 50 years of Wolverine, I did a ranking video of my favorite Marvel Legends Wolverine figures, so be sure to check that out on my channel. Anyway, what I was saying, even though I collect all the Wolverine figures, because that's my favorite X-Man and one of my favorite Marvel heroes, I mean, I love him just as much as Spider-Man, so I was gonna get this pack regardless, but I'm being real here. I wanted this pack solely for Creed, okay? I think if they were going to do a 2-pack of these two together, it should have been a battle damage Wolverine in either a torn up Tiger Stripe costume or his Outback Brown costume and not his civilian costume here. However, I was quite surprised with the level of detailing input onto the newly sculpted parts. Most of you will probably skip the Logan segment and fast forward to the Sabretooth, and that's fine. But if you want to stick around and see what they put into this Logan figure, then I want to make it fun by respecting your time, not wasting it. So you choose if you want to watch it or not, and I think you might find it interestingly surprising like I did. Alright Hasbro, you are doing it. Thank you for now consistently putting out better Logan head sculpts, because that was one of my biggest gripes before, is not perfecting the Logan head sculpt. And yeah, they didn't overdo it with the mutton chops like the other Logan figure that they did with the cowboy hat. Look at the mutton chops, man. It was overdone. But the hairstyle, I like that. It was it was longer. Right here is not as long, and it pokes out more upwards. This is what I'm impressed about the most, is this new upper body right here with his this is supposed to be like his plaid shirt, but there's no like plaid deco on it, but you can see the texturing as if it were to have that kind of like plaid design. They don't do that with like shirts at all. I can show you the Days of the Future Past one where they have a shirt, you know, they'll do the seams and the buttons, but not the texturing. They did the texturing here. I mean, they also added texturing on the wife beater for this one, but when it's like a full-blown shirt like this, yeah, we normally don't get that, so that is awesome. They added texture, and if you notice, this got me, man. Look at the chest hairs. They sculpted the hairs and painted it on at the same time. We barely ever get that. So yeah, it's texturized, and that's funny. They sculpted the chest meat, and they even sculpted the hairs on his forearms. Like, yeah, the texture and the paint is... See, why couldn't they do this with the X-Men 97 Wolverine or the other Wolverines that have these kind of hairy arms that look like sculpted fur on it, or looks like some sort of scar tissue on his skin as if he was burnt real bad? You know, that's not how you do it. This is how it's done, and they finally did it right. But yeah, you can see, I don't know if it catches on camera, but yeah, the hairs are sculpted and the paints line up with the sculpt, which is really, really nice. The hands here are just painted. They're not... Well, let me double check. Yeah, no, there's no texture on them. So it's just painted right there on the hands. But they gave them the movie claws. And, you know, in my opinion, the movie claws are the best Wolverine claws in the Legends line. This looks excellent, man. But yeah, the level of detailing here, this is awesome. Pinless arms. So only downside to these pinless arms is the skin tone right there on the elbow joint. It's a little off tone. Here is not as bad, actually. It matches, I feel like the paint is more aligned with the skin tone than on this one. For some reason, it looks darker. Maybe I think they should have brought the sculpt down, the sleeves, and line it up with the joint ending right there. It'll bring it a little further down. I don't know. That might mess up the 3/4 sleeve look. So, kind of tricky there. But it's not too bad when you look at it from afar. Then he does have the same pants you've seen on Old Man Logan, the Days of the Future Past version. And they didn't make it pinless. He still has the pins. And yeah, I can't let him off the hook. And I like the paint decal we get here on the belt buckle. Almost like a copper. It looks really nice. The brown painted belt, and then he's got the brown cowboy boots, so you know it matches with the brown cowboy hat. And if you want to swap this cowboy hat onto this Logan figure, unfortunately the skin tones will not match. As you can see, this one's clearly darker. However, if you want to do the X-Men Days in the Future Past, the skin tone is a little bit darker, but when I did it, it wasn't as bad. It kind of hides it. I think it's passable. You guys let me know. And so it's a little bobbly. In my opinion, that looks good. It kind of hides the neck skin tone, honestly. It's not that bad. If you want the bomber jacket with the cowboy hat, if you want that kind of look, I think this freaking works, man. This is nice. And if you want to decorate your Logan with some blood, you can take the bloody claws from the Old Man Logan figure, since he does have the movie claws. You could swap the hands, however, the skin tones won't match, but because it's the same hands, you can pop the claws out and just swap it that way. Oh shit, man. They should have given us bloody claws in this set too. Oh, this looks so good. Now for accessories, his alternate head has a smirk on it. This looks really good, and I want to show you the difference here. The mutton chops, as you can see, are longer. They still didn't overdo it like they did with the wife beater Logan right there. As you can see, it's still a nice length. It's not over exaggerated. Some people might like that over exaggerated look for Wolverine. It all depends on preference. And as you can see, the hairs, they point upwards a lot more than this one. It feels like it's tucked underneath his hat. And as you can see, yeah, a lot more going on. That smirk is so good. It's so much better than this one. It has this creepy smirk. Yeah, just shows you. Look at that, man. It's like a night and day difference. And also it's a different shaped cowboy hat altogether. Look at the top. You see? It's completely different and a different color too. It's black. And I gotta do the head swap on this Days of Future Past figure because I just like the way it looks. And yeah, the black cowboy hat fits too. It matches his black shirt. And it's not as wobbly bobbly on it. It's actually really sturdy. So I like this look a lot. But I still think I prefer the brown cowboy hat on this body. It just looks better. Then for accessories, he has his open, almost action stylized hand. And then the other hand is a gripping hand that holds his deck of cards. And I like the print on the cards. That came out really nice. They could use this for Gambit and make it like a whole translucent pink color on the back. But it says Xavier. I think it says School for the Gifted Youngsters. So that's pretty cool. Articulation for this guy is not that bad. He does look up that far. He looks that far down. Left, right. And does he have some pivoting? Some slight pivoting. The arms move up about that far. Got to test this new upper body out, down and all around, right? So you got the bicep swivel. The double jointed elbows have very good range, but the one thing that bothered me was that. Whew, that looks rough. Look at that separation right there. It just doesn't look like it's flowing all together. Oh man, that's rough. Dude looks like he sliced through his own elbows. Yeah, not feeling that at all, man. Oof. Wrist swivel, wrist hinge, the ab crunch, the upper torso rocker. I'm actually quite impressed. They did a really good job with the ball joint there. And, you know, Hasbro's not really known for doing proper ball joints. But this one actually surprised me. I like that. And it does have some nice pivoting. You know, obviously it swivels, and it swivels here at the waist too. Pretty good. A lot more than I expected, man. Not going to cover the rest of the legs. If you know this body, you know how it works. It's the same as the rest of the civilian Logan legs. But I gotta say, I slept on this figure. It was a lot better than I expected. Even though this Logan figure only has one gripping hand and it is on a vertical hinge, it still works with the Logan bike, and he looks really good on this Logan bike. So yeah, if you want to display him that way, it's a cool option. I don't want to jump the gun and say this is the best Civilian Legends Logan, but I'm going to jump the gun and say it is indeed the best Civilian Legends Logan. It was an effort of quality details that they rarely put on most comic figures, which counted a lot for me here because I see that mostly on MCU figures. And to now give that kind of love to the comic side of figures, it is greatly appreciated. I'm giving this Logan a generous 7.5 out of 10. Scream for me. Yeah, this head sculpt screams Sabretooth. Oh man, it looks insane. I love the expression. He's angry. He's just looking feral. That's how I want him to look. And I really like the mutton chops they gave him there. Some nice details. The eyebrows going over the mask or whatever you want to call that. And yeah, look at the canines, man. They're large. And one thing I really like, the all-white pupils. If you look closely, it looks like he has these bloodshot eyes. And I've never seen them do bloodshot eyes on all-white pupils. I mean, maybe they did before and I'm just drawing a blank. But that looks really, really cool. And it definitely adds to the ferocious visage of this character. Damn, it looks so good. I like his hairstyle too. Some nice hair sculpt right there at the top. Oh yeah, they put on a banger of a head sculpt here. And I remember when this figure was first revealed, that was so hyped. But the community had a bunch of complaints saying the head was oversized. Like, seriously? You're gonna complain about the head size of a character that has physical deformities? Oh my god, man. Some people don't know what they're talking about. Oh, what's this right here? A pic reference of Sabretooth with a big head. Oh my god. Look, I know there's people that like the animated series style with the tiny head and the overly sized body, and if that's your preference, you know, hey, that's fine. That's okay. It's not hard to Google search, okay? As I always say, don't go off of one image. There's plenty of resource available that you can see. You know, so many beautiful art depictions of this character. Anyway, with that out of the way, he is on the Omega Red Buck, which is what we all wanted for this character. I mean, at least majority of us wanted him on this Buck, and this Buck was tailor-made for him. Look at this. The mane, it just... it looks so good, and it's not removable. It's actually glued on there, so you don't have to worry about this falling off. I like that they did that. And of course, the most important thing for this character is to have those butterfly joints for lunging poses. They gave him the pinless arms here. I do like that, and they gave him that forearm spike right here. It is a layered piece, so it's real tight though. It's nothing that's gonna, you know, pop off. Oh no, it does pop off. Oh, it didn't pop off before. Okay. Yeah, it's not popping off on this one right here on the right arm, but that's okay. It's not like I'm gonna remove it or anything. It looks dumb without it. But just like the Logan figure, man, they kept the pins on the knees, and like I said, man, just follow through. I'm not letting this figure off the hook because of that. I will say that these legs are a little bit sturdier than the Venom ones, because that's one of the gripes with this mold is the knees are a little bit warpy. Yeah, these get easily warped. The plastic is not as strong on this one, but the plastic is a little bit better on this one. It's a little bit more sturdier, not by much, but I do feel a difference, especially when I bend the knees in and I do put them in certain poses. I always say a pinless treatment is what prevents the warping. It keeps it sturdy, but at least they improved the plastic on it a little bit. And here's another major reason why they should have made it pinless, and I'm about to lay it on thick to Hasbro. And that's, if you take the Spider UK body, right? They made the legs pinless. I don't get Hasbro sometimes. They'll give the pinless treatment to a buck like this that no one gives a shit about, over a mold that everyone is, or majority are, a fan of. Like, come on now, this is the more important buck, you know? This one is not. This one's obsolete. Come on, Hasbro. What made you think that this Spider UK body deserved the pinless treatment over the Omega Red Buck? These older obsolete molds should not take priority when getting the pinless treatment. It is a waste of budget. It should go towards these newer body bucks that rarely get used, such as the Omega Red body. Go with what is popular amongst the community. But he looks great. These are his default hands, and he does have a very wide open hand right here for his right hand, and then he has one that looks like he's about to like poke your eye out. Look at the claws. This is very important to look at Sabretooth since he has those 3-inch claws. I really like the way this looks for a default look, and the paint is a lot more solid on this guy. When you do the ab crunch, nothing chips off, because I remember when you did it with the Venom, if you bend them all the way down, the paint right here will chip. And yeah, it's a different paint structure that they used here, or coating I should say. But I love this costume design. Look at the slashes on the thighs, you know, the brown pattern that follows down the middle torso into the inner legs, and he also has the brown tips on the shoes, and the paint job is stellar here. It's very clean and strong. I'm impressed. I had no complaints with the paint whatsoever here. They didn't miss a beat. For accessories, he has his alternate head, and oh man, look at that sadistic Creed smile. I love it. He also has a different hairstyle. As you can see, if I bring out the other one, he has this bang going over, and yeah, different hairstyle altogether. I like that. Damn, this looks so good. I really, really like this smile. I might go with this one on my display. I don't know, even though I like this head more. He doesn't have the bloodshot eyes on this one. It makes sense to me. I like that attention to detail, because you would picture it, you know, more on this one where he's, you know, a lot more angrier and feral. This one, he just looks like he's laughing at Runt, and I love it. And then lastly, he has alternate hands, so they both have different gestures. This one has more of like that eye gauging gesture. This one's good for like throat grabbing. I like these. I like that we get 4 options with his claws out, but Sabretooth punches too, so it would have been nice if we got a pair of fists too. For a fun topic of discussion, I would like them to make an animated series version of Sabretooth, but I don't want him on this body for an animated version. I am dying for that to be on the Caliban body. I think it would just work. And if I just swap the heads here, well, I'm going to keep that head onto the body. Let me... Oh, crap, it fits. Yeah, I think you could pull it off, man, because he has that little... It would be that little head with the overly sized body. You put the mane on there, and yeah, it's... Whoo, I would be a fan of Sabretooth on the Caliban body, just because I like switch-ups. You know, I don't want it just to be a repaint. I want it to play with the idea, so that way people can say, hey, maybe we want a comic version on this Caliban body. I think he will look great. Again, Sabretooth was drawn in many sizes, and I just think him on this body in the animated series Deco, it would be amazing. Now for articulation, you might be bummed out, but the mane does hinder the head movement to look up. It's not that bad. I do kind of wish they shaved just a little bit, just gave us a little bit more room behind there to, you know, get more up movement in that neck area. So yeah, upward movement for a character like this is important. His head does look down that far, and he does look side to side, and he does have some nice pivoting though. I do like that. His arms move about that far up, straight T pose. Wish it was more. And you know, you can move them down, and you got the bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows. You do get range on them, so nice range. Wrist swivel, wrist hinge. I like articulating this body a lot, man. It's a very good buck to articulate, and again, that ab crunch, and just to utilize that head more. You know, if you're doing like a crouching pose, it still doesn't look that bad. You could cheat a little bit and, you know, lift the head out of the socket. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't look too bad, you know. You can move it up a little bit more, get that off angle, And yeah, again, it's a little bit out of socket. I'm just cheating there. It works. If it's fully popped in, you're only going to get about that much. Still not bad. You can still play with it, you know. Damn, this looks so good. I lost track. Where was I in the articulation segment, right? The ab crunch, right? Yeah. So, yeah. Moves back and forth a good amount. And you got that waist swivel. You got the legs that spread out that far. Kick that far back. So you do get that frontward split. Yeah, his legs got some good motion there. You got the thigh swivel, double jointed knees, no heel to the butt. And you got his ankles that move up that far. They do move a good amount down. And you can pivot them all around. The definitive Sabretooth figure, period. Even though we had to wait nearly 6 years since the introductory of the Omega Red Buck and has been long overdue, we can now breathe a sigh of relief to know it's finally here and it was worth the wait. Even though we shouldn't have waited this long, the accessories, the paint apps, the sculpt are all stellar. Glad I sold my old one, as this is the far superior version, and this is the Sabretooth I needed in my Legends collection. I'm rating Sabretooth a 9.75 out of 10. Now for comparisons, I'm not going to overdo it with a bunch of comparisons. So here's the new Logan next to Days of Future Past Logan, the Wife Beater Logan, and Old Man Logan. So let me know out of these, which one is your favorite Marvel Legends civilian Logan figure. If you're looking for your definitive civilian Marvel Legends Logan figure, for me, I look at it this way. I don't count these two since they're alternate universes, so it would come down between these two since they're 616. And this is the far superior one. I mean, for me, if I was only to own one Logan figure in my 616 universe, it's going to be this one. Here is Creed next to some other Weapon X program members, starting off with his Team X teammates, Wolverine and Maverick. Damn, I so need a Silver Fox right now. Then we have Lady Deathstrike, Deadpool, and Phantom X. Lastly, here he is next to some Brotherhood members. My Brotherhood shelf display is a mashup of both comic and animated series rosters. Mystique, Juggernaut, Toad, Magneto the Goat, Scarlet Witch, Blob, Pyro, and Avalanche. I really need a Quicksilver in the green ASAP. And now to wrap things up, my final rating as a 2-pack is an 8.5 out of 10. Say what you want about this Logan, but there's no denying the amount of effort they put into this figure to make it the best Legends Logan they possibly could. It had no business being this good, and it turned out better than I could imagine. There's a lot of good qualities that impressed me. The texturized details on the shirt, the thin sculpted hairs with the paint being lined up with them, the ball-jointed torso having good mobility, movie claws, and 2 great Logan head sculpts. I dig it, and I think every Wolverine figure should come with an angry expression, so if you want that, put that 275 head on here and it'll look great. I want to give him a spot in my display, and I think I want to put him in my Gamerverse just because I think they'll reuse this mold and maybe sculpt new legs along with it to make a Wolverine PS5 figure, as he looks pretty close to it just without the plaid. At least just for now, as a stand-in substitute until we get a Wolverine PS5 Logan Gamerverse figure, and I'll borrow the Bloody Claws from my spare Logan movie figure. I think that would look awesome sauce. Again, Sabretooth is everything I wanted in a 90s version. He just needed those pinless legs. He would have been a perfect 10 to me if pinless. These anniversary-themed packs are part of their premium line, and we need premium quality if we are going to pay premium prices. And that means all things pinless along with the fine details. Creed looks so much better with my Brotherhood and doesn't look puny anymore standing alongside them like the Hyperion Buck did. Omega Red Buck is an upgrade on not just the scale front, but in the articulation department as well. You can get those lunging poses despite some hindering from his mane to look up. It's still manageable, and those butterfly joints make a world's difference. He's great for all kinds of crouching and kneeling poses to capture that character dynamic. This buck is 100% tailor-made for Sabretooth. Despite my gripes, I'm pretty content with this offer for what it is and some of what we get. The pros heavily outweighs the cons. The only other thing I would like to have seen be added would be claw slashing effects for both characters. That would be new for the line, and I think that would have been terrific. What do you think? Some will have slept on this Logan figure like I did and find it to be a nice treat on hand. Don't sleep on him. But one thing is for sure, Anyone who gets their hands on this is going to enjoy Sabretooth and realize he's an instant running candidate for top 10 legends in 2024. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of this Logan vs. Sabretooth 2-pack? What versions of Logan and Creed do you want to see next? Bring on Team X, baby! Whether it's post-con or an Amazon exclusive, I'm ready for that box set. Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. Thanks for watching another Marvel Legends review. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xman87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.